how you doing? It's Lachelle, and I pray that this message finds you well and in good spirits. I want to share something that the Lord has placed upon my heart and something that He has been dealing with me in this season. This word is going to be particularly for my parents, those who have young children that's still at home, or maybe you a caregiver, maybe you taking care of an aging parent, or you just taking care of a loved one or a friend. I want to share with you what the Lord shared with me as I was navigating a season where I felt like I was overwhelmed and I was frustrated. I was overwhelmed and I was frustrated because everything was starting to pile up on me. All of my responsibilities, and what I mean by that is me taking care of my children. They was letting out of school for the summer. On top of that, I was dealing with children who were sick, passing around a sickness in the household. So it was constant back and forth to the doctors and just other demands of life regarding my responsibilities. And in that time of just life and me having to take care of my children and also me as well, I felt like I was neglecting the things that I normally would do in my routine, such as I would read the word, I'll go on a walk around a track, I record a video, just things like that that was a part of my regular routine. But when all of these things started happening with my children, it pushed me out of routine. I was not able to read the word the way that I once did, and I wasn't able to go to the park, and I wasn't able to do some of the things that I found myself doing almost every day because my responsibilities taking care of my children was demanding my attention. And in that, I began feeling frustrated. I began feeling like I was failing God. I began feeling like I wasn't making progress. I began feeling like that I don't know if I can continue to go this route, in a sense of not being able to do the things that I normally do while still taking care of my children. It felt like if I did one thing, then the other thing was tugging on me, and I just felt guilty. I felt frustrated and overwhelmed. And after I sit and I prayed, and just over the course of days, I didn't understand what was going on, because yet I felt like if I didn't pray the way that I normally would pray, or if I couldn't get in the word the way that I normally would have been able to, then I felt like I was missing God, that I was failing my relationship with God, and I wasn't growing. But when I actually calmed down, when I actually just sat in, with my thoughts, and the Holy Spirit began to minister to me. And He told me, Lachelle, taking care of your children is an act of worship to me. He told me taking care of your children, by you taking care of their needs and making sure that they fed and they ate and they clean and they getting to and from the doctors, and that you're taking care of yourself in the meantime, that is an act of worship to me. And I said, how so, Lord? How is that an act of worship to you when I can't even pray the way that I used to without something demanding my time, or I can't even get in the word because my day belonged to other people besides myself now? And He told me, because I have entrusted your children to you. I knew this season before you even walked here. Before you even got here, I knew that your responsibilities was going to change. I knew that your children and other things was going to demand more time from you. But that don't mean that you failing me. So I want to encourage somebody that may be in a caregiving stage, that may be caring for an aging parent, or maybe you a single parent, or maybe you a parent in general. And this season seemed a little tougher. It seemed like your responsibilities is demanding a little bit more of your time. And you may feel like you failing God. You may feel like that you may not be growing the way that you desire. You may not be developing fast as you hope for, because you have to put all your attention to the things that God have entrusted you with. I want to encourage you this day that taking care of your loved ones, taking care of your children, taking care of the responsibilities that God has entrusted to you in this season is an act of worship to God. God honors what we take care of. God honors us when he sees us do what we can with what he gives us. He's not forcing you to act. He's not forcing you to perform. He does not feel like you a failure because you can't pray as long as you once did, or maybe you can't make it to church, or maybe the progress that you once was making with God last season, it ain't what you was hoping for this season, and you feel like you falling along the way. But I want to encourage you that God said he knows your pace, he knows your limit, and he knows your responsibilities that you have in this season. So you don't have to worry about feel like you failing God, because he said that's far from failing me. If anything, you honoring me by doing and taking care of your responsibilities in this season. He said obedience is better than sacrifice. Sometimes we get to a point where we just want to serve God through other means and through other ways. And sometimes he tells us in certain seasons, this season, I just want you to be there for your children. I just want you to take care of your parents. I just want you to make sure your household stay clean and in order. And that's what he's saying to you, that if this season feel a little more challenging, if it feels a little bit more weighty, and you feel like maybe somehow that you have fallen behind, I come to encourage you today that the responsibilities that God has entrusted to you in this season, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your mother or your father, maybe it's just being where you're at and you feel like you just not growing, you just not elevating, you just not moving the way that you want it to. God knows your pace, baby. He knows that you honoring and that you taking care of what he has entrusted you with. And that is an act of service. That is an act of worship to God. And sometimes that's the only thing that God requires for us in the season, because he sees that the load has got a little weighty. He sees that the responsibility has got a little demanding. And God is not a God where he wants you to perform. He's not a God where he wants you to be exhausted or overwhelmed in your daily activity. He understands that prayer may look different this season. He understands that you may not be able to get in the word as much as you want to. He sees your hearts and he sees your willingness. And right now, your willingness just may be able to take care of your children, just to be able to take care of the responsibilities that he has entrusted to you. And when you do that, and when you do that with a grateful heart, and you trust that God sees you, he knows you, then you can trust that it's an act of worship to the Lord, and he's going to honor that. He's going to honor that. This message is for somebody that feels like that they falling behind, and maybe you feel frustrated. Maybe you feel overwhelmed with the duties of just caregiving, with the duties of just parenting, with the duties of just having to step away and say, God, these children is demanding all my time. My parents need me right now. My marriage is going through some things. I just can't be what I thought I'd be for you, or, in this season. But God sees, and that should reassure you that you taking care of what he has entrusted to you is way better than you going out and you doing another act of service. Because if you can't take care of the very things that he called you to love and he entrusted to you to care for, how can he ever give you more? How can he ever entrust more to you? So I just want to encourage somebody with that word, that taking care of your children, taking care of your responsibilities, taking care of whatever the Lord has entrusted to you is an act of worship to the Lord. The Lord sees that and he accepts that and he honors that, baby. I pray this message blesses you and encourages you. I hope it uplifts you today. I love you so much. I am Lachelle Monroe. Until next time, God bless y'all, and I'll check in with you later.